Hi, welcome back to another channel message for you guys from me, Lon, the one exception. Okay, um, man. So there's been so much going on recently. Um, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were having a little meeting. We were talking or whatever, and I was trying to share what I'm recently going through, and it's like letting the little things go. Okay, and when I say the little things, it's like things that aren't I mean, like things that bothered you before. Okay, and you hit a place of maturity when those things aren't bothering you anymore. And it's not even if they aren't bothering you, because that is a step of maturity, but also getting to a place where you're not allowing those things to bother you. Okay. It's like knowing that in the past me was bothered by X, Y, and Z. But now, present me or future me isn't bothered by these things because it's something that past me was bothered by, you know? And it's differentiating and distinguishing these things um that's the most difficult part. But it's not difficult because you know how the old you thought about it. So let's, for example, like if something someone was doing was bothering you, okay, and like, man, my connection to the divine, God, Most High, this universe, all of the above, your connection to all of it, okay, me knowing that I feel connected to all of it, what other people do or say that hiccup for confirmation that bothered me in the past no longer bothers me, because who cares? It's not like a who cares. Old me cares. So like it is worth mentioning or saying, oh, if something is bothering you, of course speak up. Because old you is still in there, and for old you's sake, you want to speak up. But don't let it continue to bother you, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is you and your connection to the divine. And if that connection isn't tarnished or tainted, then nothing else matters. And I'm getting to that point of realizing this, and it's such a beautiful place. And we were talking about that. We're also talking about the Bible and how I've never read the Bible. I've heard when it's presented to me, the Bible, I will read. Like if someone says, "Hey, read this," I'll read that. Or if someone brings a scripture to me, but I've never just read it straight through. Like I remember randomly a baby, well, he's like maybe like 2 or 3, a 2 or 3 year old, at the time, came and handed me a Bible. So it's like when a kid hands you a Bible, there's a reason. Like the divine is speaking, okay? And then I said, okay, whatever page I randomly land on when I, go through the book, that was meant for me. And the passage that it stopped at, was a passage that was meant for me to hear at that time. Okay. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were saying I was saying how, religion, of course, is a structure. AA is a structure. There's so many structures here on this earth that's meant to not confine people, but to structure people, give them guidance along their journey. And that's part of, okay. And I was trying to explain to him how I'm not a religious person, but I understand that some of those structures are meant for people who needs the structure. But it's all the same thing. It's all bringing you to a place closer to the divine, a place closer to experiencing E, all of the above, because E, all of the above, it's in the name. So whether you want to say church, this religion, AA, Buddhism, Catholic, it's E, all of the above. It's all umbrellaed over the divine, God, E, all of the above, the universe. It's all encompassing. It's everyone, everything, energy, or encompassing energy. And so with that being said, this is why I'm creating well, I'm putting into words my experience to help the next person. Okay. The Blue Twin Flame guide, or not even the guide, but just in general, go check out some of my videos if you want to know what the Blue Twin Flame is, and there'll be more to come. But that's why I'm sharing that. It's still a way to help structure people who feels connected to all in a different way than religion, and that's what it's amazing to me, because like, as I'm trying to explain this to this friend of mine, it's like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a religious person, but I didn't read the Bible, but I still have structure in my life, and I still have ways to confirm this structure. And part of the way, so like I'm explaining to my friend, and it's like my poems, for example, recurring themes of life. And I'll share. So I said, so watch, like I use like how some people would read the Bible. I would read, or like I use other things. I use my reality for this structure. And as an example, I'm like, see, I'm looking for a number and I don't see a number. And at the time, his radio says superpower. And at the time that I look at it, and we've been in the car for like over 30 minutes, and I've never noticed it. But when I'm looking for a time, it says superpower. And this is our superpower, our connection to the divine. And we have different ways to connect. Some people sing, some people rap, some people create art, athletes, we're all have our superpowers, and it's how we use them. And we're all special, but we all are unique in our own way. And so as an example, I find the time, and the time is 3:29. Okay. And recurring theme of life, 3:29 is a cult versus a cult. A cult versus a cult. OCCULT versus a space CULT. Okay. A space cult versus a cult. One word. All right. Some knowledge is hidden, which others think they found. And when they try to control, a cult is how it sounds. Some information can be hidden for generations or rounds until it's found and shared by the right person, people, city, or town. The thing about occult knowledge, it's always revealed to who and what it's supposed to be. A knowledge so hidden that the knowing itself isn't what you thought it's supposed to be. Can you grasp something you were only given a piece of? which requires you to seek other players to determine what pieces are they protecting. But when players hoard and use the information they acquired or what was revealed to them to manipulate and control a group called a cult, the group and what they know becomes public, no longer a cult. All right. A cult versus a cult. And so that like resonated with what we were talking about. And then I'm just like, like I've never, read the Bible before, but it's always that person who knows the Bible and I feel like, like the Bible, it's just like any other book. It's meant to be used as a reference, or it can be used as a reference, or it should be used. I use it as a reference, I should say. I can't speak for everyone. I use it as a reference. And when I say a reference, meaning like a dictionary, like when you need to know a word, bam, go to the dictionary. But I've never just studied or read the Bible just like a book, straight through chapter to chapter. And as I'm explaining this to a friend of mine, but I'm saying like, but there's always that person there. Like there's always a Bible thumper, or not even a Bible thumper, someone who knows the Bible to quote a situation. Like there's always that person who's like, oh, this is so-and-so, and they say a random Bible quote, but it relates to what they're talking about. So as I'm giving this example, I say, oh, John 27, and I'm telling my friend, like, it's always that person who knows, that one quote. And then I'm like, let me look up John 27, because I don't know. There is a John 27. I don't know what John 27 is at the time, but I look it up. And then what I look up relates to what we're talking about. And it's like, see, like, this is what I'm saying. So like, when you're connected to all the above, it's like, even when you don't know what you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. And I don't mean to sound like, I don't know, if you get it, you get it. But it's like, it's not that when you don't know what you're talking about, but when you're trusting in all the above, and you have this connection with all of the above, the little things don't bother you anymore. And just like my poems at the time that I need to hear them, the Bible is there for other people for when they need it, for people to need that structure. And it just cemented or but it just brought me the clarity that I needed. But I'm sure it brings other people the clarity that they need, and that's what it's there for. So let me read it. Well, I'm going to read what Google says. So John 27 most commonly refers to John 14:27 in the Bible, where Jesus promises his disciples a unique peace, saying, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." This divine peace is an inner tranquility and restoration with God, distinct from the temporary, circumstance-dependent peace the world offers, providing lasting and comfort and strength through troubles. Key aspects of John 14:27. A gift, not a worldly deal. Jesus offers a peace that is permanent and internal, unlike the fleeting calmness found in money, possessions, or temporary relief. Comfort for disciples. Spoken before his crucifixion, These words were meant to reassure his followers facing confusion, fear, and sorrow, rooted in relationship. This peace comes from being in a relationship with God, providing supernatural calm and stability. And then call to action. The verse is a command to not let one's heart be troubled or afraid, relying on the divine gift instead of worldly anxieties. And again, when someone's bothering you or something someone is doing is bothering you, and that's what I was saying. We were having this conversation beforehand, and this just tied it all in. Confirmation. Hey. Hey. Someone's here. Doorbell. Oh wait, I can pause. All right. So, new phone, new me. I can pause the recording, which is chef's kiss without stopping it. So that's great. But what I'm saying is, when little things are bothering you, and you know you have this connection to a higher power, to God, to source, to the most high, E, all of the above. You don't have to let those things bother you anymore. And it's those worldly bothers, like if someone is misspelling your name, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, and if they continue to do it, just take note of it and just know that if people are doing it intentionally, then that just says more about their character than yours. If they're doing it unintentionally, then why be upset about it? Because at the end of the day, that could just be a test, or not even a test, because I'm going to stop using the word test because I don't like to feel like I'm being tested. So instead of tests, I said I'm going to start saying opportunities for upgrading or opportunities for growth, but I like upgrading, or updating. Do I have an updating versus upgrading? Let's add that in here. Hold on. All right, I'm back. 1194 update versus upgrade. All right. So yeah, not to let these worldly anxieties bother you. Let the little things sweat you, because that could just be an opportunity for you to update or upgrade, or opportunity for growth, to not let these things bother you. So, now for confirmation. Yeah, so that's what, yeah. So, that was that. But then, let's also read, it was 1427. Do I want to read 1420? Oh, it said yes. Okay, let's see. Yes. All right. So let's read 14. Okay. So John 27 is also 1427. Okay, so 14 is trust versus mistrust. Hey, Mr. Trust, have you ever met my friend? She's kind of suspicious and won't be there in the end. Hey, mistrust, let me tell you about this guy I know. You can believe what he says, and he will be the first to show. The thing about these two I mentioned, they have a kind of weird connection. One believes way too hard, and the other falls faster than a house of cards, breaks quicker than a house of glass, while he will believe a quiet mouse has class. If they were the teachers, it's possible you could learn a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Click the box so I know you're not a bot. Place Mr. Trust in him and mistrust out her. So that's place trust in you and mistrust out of your heart. Trust versus trust. And I love that one because then that one definitely relates, because again, what we've been saying is when you have trust in all the above, burp for confirmation, excuse me, the Most High, the universe, source, a power greater than you, or all of the above. When you have trust in all of that, you know that these things are happening to you for a reason. So instead of saying, or just like try figuring out why things are happening to you, instead of being caught up on the fact of what's happening to you. Okay, 27 is amplify versus magnify. Amplify decisions. Thought you said bigger. Magnify your visions. Sounds like a winner. Banshee, he said screaming, soaring high in the sky, now we amplifying. Raising the frequency, even things fall into place when I think rise into space and start to align in every case, uniting minds in the human race, changing what you heard to what you thought. Take a closer look. Magnifying now becomes, I know you lying. Just a cub, think king. Proud, I know you're Proud, I know you lion. Zoom into what I'm saying and you will find Magna Zion. Amplify versus magnify. So, if you listen closely to what I'm saying, you will get the big picture. You see what I did there? Look closely into what I'm saying, and things get bigger. You start seeing the bigger picture. The frequencies change when you amplify and magnify. Their frequencies, the things you're connected to. Let's get... we're going to get a Starseed Oracle card on frequencies. All right. It was 23:45 on the timer when I looked up. It might have been 46. But on frequencies. Let's see what's said when it comes to frequencies. Ooh. Okay, this one's sticking out. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addictions, let God in. Bottom deck energy says, surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And when you're making love to life and you loosen your grip and let God in, you're no longer allowing for these little things to bother you. Let me get one more card, please. All right, I got 2. Perspective, and that's changing your perspective. Earth School. Okay. None of this matters. See, did I say that? I said that earlier, that none of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Okay. Can't make this up. See, when you're on that frequency, synchronicities like this happen all the time. We're just talking about, I just read amplify versus magnify, zoom out. Okay, see how big the earth is, but when you zoom out, you see how small it is from changing your perspective. Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. And we're all on this Earth School. We're all learning. It's time for us to elevate and change how we're looking at things. That's how we learn the lessons, and then we get newer lessons to learn. Then we're going to start applying the old lessons that we learned to this new life, this new way of looking and living. You know, knowing that you have this connection with the divine. Now we can go about life with this connection. And that's the best part. Ears ringing. So now you don't have to be scared. You don't have to be concerned. You don't have to be bothered by a lot of things. Okay. I do want to grab one Rumi card. Let's see what Rumi wants to share. Now I'm going to get out of here. While I'm shuffling, finding a card, let's just give thanks to E, all the above. Let's just take a moment to give thanks. So thank you. Thank you for watching, because you're included in all of the above. Also, let's take this moment to breathe for someone else. All day long, we breathe unconsciously for ourselves. So let's just take a moment right now to breathe consciously for someone else. You know, whether they know it or not, whether they're with you or not, they can be in the same room. They can not be in the same room. They can be thinking about you, not thinking about you. Someone you know, someone you don't know. I'm going to take that one. So on the count of 3, we're going to inhale and then exhale, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth. All right. The Rumi card that I pulled was Dance of the Divine Feminine. How bitter the taste of water would be if the rivers stopped its flow. The universe esteems you capable of more than being sure-footed and sensible. You can whirl and stumble, inspired by the music of the spheres. There is a big magic for you to weave this lifetime. Prosaic. Priorities inherited from the world are stuff and nonsense. Give up the mainstays that drain your heart. Ask your soul what matters most and attend to that. And that just confirms what we've been saying. Like, the stuff that doesn't matter, let it go. Ask your soul what matters the most. And that's how you can get past the stuff that doesn't matter. Because I was asking about that. Like, well, how do you know, what's up to let go and what doesn't? When you sit with yourself, you'll know. But a lot of the stuff just doesn't matter. Okay? It just doesn't. Bottom deck energy. We have Hand of Fatima. Fatima, it says, I can never leave you. You are my everything. E, all of the above. Everyone, everything, encompassing energy. Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, brings you the gift of protection. Discern who you involve yourself with and how you use your time and energy. Give yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people and situations you say yes or no to in your life. You have drawn the hand of Fatima. Trust in her. trust versus mistrust. It's a common goal, a common theme. It's a recurring theme. It's a recurring theme of life. Man, okay. See, stuff like that. I'm glad you guys are here to catch this with me, to go through this with me, and I'm glad I could share this with you. Man, we're on this journey together, okay? So please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to continue to work on my end and get some balls rolling. Man, let's see. Someone put in the comment below, what can you let go of? You know, something that's bothering you recently that you can let go of. And you can use an emoji if you want, you know. But come on, let's get some interaction going. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys another day. Wait, and now it's time for so long. But I'll sing just one more song. Thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart, you know, with me and you and my boy Blue. You can do anything that you want to do. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys again another day. And I hope you like the haircut. Thanks, Sam, for hooking me up. All right, you guys. Love you. And bye.